Welcome to Approved Home Pros. I am your host and co-founder of Approved Home Pros, Sean Johnson, here with my good friend, the man, the myth, the legend, the all-knowing home improvement expert, Greg Cantor from Murray Lampert Design, Build, Remodel. Greg, how you doing?
Good. Thank you for that introduction.
Hey, I try every time to really put you on the pedestal, which you deserve, but I always come short. It's just you can't quite fully
I don't know about that.
Well, I try, man. Today we have a great show on tap. We're going to talk about robots. Yes, that's right. We are in the future. We're officially living in the Jetsons because you don't have to do almost anything anymore. A robot can do it, including mowing your lawn.
So can a robot do all the honeydews too?
We're getting there. We're getting the one that will be cooking dinner for you and pampering you in every way. But the grass, you don't have to mow anymore. We're going to talk all about that with Tiger Palafox from Mission Hills Nurseries with us, talking about a great advancement that will save everybody lots of energy and keep your lawn looking great. Plus, we haven't had a lot of rain, but it's coming, and it inevitably does. We're going to talk about rain gutters and why they're so important, and also how you can use the rain water to maybe tie into your yard. So there's a lot of different areas about rain gutters we're going to talk about.
And rain gutters can really enhance your home. I think people are sometimes concerned that it's going to be a detraction, but they're not.
Oh, no. I mean, if you get the cheap ones from the big box store and just slap them up there, they look ugly as sin. But the ones that somebody like A-1 rain gutters puts in, they are dressing for the home. They're the bling in the curb appeal.
For sure.
I love them. And then we're going to talk about the great debate in home improvement. It is kind of a battle royale, a WWE, hit somebody with a chair, kind of a battle between tank and tankless water heaters. So we're going to get into that today with our friend Bob Riley from We Care Plumbing, Heating, and Air. And we're going to decide which way you should maybe go, or maybe there isn't one specific direction.
And Sean, do you even know what type you have in your home?
I know very little about my home, but I do know what type I have. I have a tank system.
Okay.
All right. So, but there's things about tankless I really like. So, we're gonna find out some of those things. Before we jump into all that, though, Greg, last week we were talking about what we were doing over the weekend. I was kind of a bachelor because Heather was up in Idaho. Ended up doing a lot of work. It wasn't the funnest of all possible weekends, but you were riding the bridge thing, and I was sitting there, like I said, with my telescope, watching you from my patio with a beer in my hand, and seemed to go a little wrong.
Yeah, I'm really embarrassed to say I was all ready to wave to you as I went by. I got about 2 miles in, my chain came off, I rolled it on the ground and broke my derailleur.
So did you actually fall off the bike?
I fell off the bike.
Oh, was there pictures? Please tell me there's
pictures.
Oh,
sorry.
Darn it. Were you okay, though?
I'm fine, yeah.
Did you have that kind of embarrassed thing where you had to walk your bike back down the bridge and kind of the womp?
I had to walk about 2 miles to the finish line.
The walk of shame on the bridge. So
it definitely was the walk of shame.
I'm not going to say nanny, but it was just said, so maybe I did say it. But no, too bad you didn't make it. That's always a great event. And I didn't actually see you with my telescope, but I should have. I wish I could have. We normally have a news story here that is something that we do, talking about different news items. There isn't really a specific news item today with our home improvement news brought to you by Murray Lampert Design, Build, Remodel, but a little piece of advice. There's been a lot of fires, and, Greg, people have companies come door to door trying to sell them stuff.
They do, and, I mean, these companies go to neighborhoods and start trying to prey on people.
And it's never a good idea to hire somebody that's knocking on your front door trying to sell you some kind of a repair or home improvement. Check any company out before you hire them. Don't just hire somebody on the spot. We are here to help you navigate that world. Either hire one of the companies we've recommended or even call us 855-840-APRO. We'll talk to you, guide you through it. Or, Greg, you even offered up your personal cell phone number if somebody has a question about if they've been in the fires and what they should do. What's the number? For
sure, and we don't do fire repairs, so I want to make that clear. But if somebody has a question about, what to do, my number is 619-318-7970, 619-318-7970. I have a lot of experience, and I'd be happy to guide people through that.
Thank you. And that's just a pure public service there because that's not going to benefit Murray Lampert in any way. So, Greg, thank you for that. Let's jump into, we're talking about robots. And Tiger Palafox, Tiger, great to have you on the show this morning.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
I love having you on. We haven't had you on enough, and hopefully we're going to have you on more as we go. But robots and lawn mowing, I think people don't know this even exists. Tell me what we're even talking about here.
All right, so let's put it in layman's terms for most people out there. They know what a Roomba does. It's a robotic vacuum that just bounces around in your living room or bedroom and picks up all the debris. Well, the Husqvarna Automower operates in a lot of the same ways, where you install it in your backyard, you put down a wire which keeps it confined to the grass area, and it has a docking station where it charges electronically from, and then you program it to run when you want it to and when it needs to. So the nice thing about it is that you can set it where it mows your lawn any time of the day, and it can even do it at night because it's very quiet. I have one that operates at my house and is next to my bedroom window.
So this is basically, and we don't have a lot of time, so we're going to cover most of this after the break, but it is like a Roomba for your lawn, correct?
I'm so surprised. I thought this thing was a souped-up riding motorized lawnmower.
You didn't even know what it was. This is one time we're going to...
Hopefully it's not chain-driven for him.
Something Mr. Cassidy. When we come back after the break, we're going to get more in detail into this because it's the new thing every...
You're listening to the Approved Home Pro Show, your friends in the home improvement business.
Welcome back to the Approved Home Pro Show, San Diego's resource for all things home improvement. And before the break, we were just getting started with Tiger Palafox. You know him from Mission Hills Nursery, expert in all things in terms of plants and softscape for your yard, all kinds of different things. But we're talking about a robot mower from Husqvarna. Greg, I love this because it's something that is kind of stub cancer because you've never seen these. You don't know anything about it. So, Tiger, it is a robot lawnmower that is programmed to go mow your lawn. We don't see them here in the United States yet. It's brand new, but are they common in other parts of the world?
Yeah, definitely Husqvarna, the company that's been or is producing these, has been developing this over years. And believe it or not, it's been in the works for almost 20 years, but it's actually really common. They sell tens of thousands of these all through Europe annually, where this is year number 2 kind of introduction into the North American market. So even though it's new to us, it's definitely not a new product. And there's a lot of experience behind it, whether it's safety or ease of use or just the ability to use it behind the product that people don't know about.
And it's surprisingly affordable.
Yeah, I mean, for the base unit for an average size home, you're looking at a unit of about $1,300, which when you think about it, you're like, wow, that's a good amount of money. But when you also consider if you're going to be buying a new mower and it's $400 to $500, or if you're paying a lawn care service, however much a month, you can make your money back within a year.
Now, is this bagless technology?
Yeah, so the way it works is it just continuously mows. So unlike an average service nowadays where you go out once a week and you mow your lawn and you got all these clippings, this is something that you set to mow daily or every few days. So the clippings that it produces just fall right back into the lawn. And there's a benefit to those clippings. Number one, they give it compost, which is nutrients. And number 2, the compost also helps retain water. So you can lower your water bill because it's mulching into the lawn.
So when you say it's running, it's continual, you can set it to run at night generally? Is that when most people set it to run?
I think most people do set it to run in the evenings just because it's absolutely quiet. So even the Roomba, and I have a Roomba, you would never do that while you're sleeping. You can hear it moving around. It's nothing like that. You don't hear it. It's kind of like when a Prius comes up to you at a street corner, you don't even know the Prius creeped up to you, and next thing you know, there's a car next to you. And that's kind of how the Automower works, where it's just mowing the lawn, you don't hear it at all. And people do it at night. Some people make sure they see it, so it's happening during the day. It's up to you when you want it to run.
And total freedom. An average lawn, how long does it take to do its job?
Yeah, so a basic lawn of maybe about 1,000 square feet, it's going to take 4 to 5 hours to do the whole lawn. And like I said, it's random. So it's constantly bouncing back and forth. This isn't going to go straight lines, hyper efficient. And that's why people need to realize that this is something you set, you let it do its thing, and it'll just keep your lawn continuously moving.
How do you restrict its movements?
So you put in a guide wire that surrounds the lawn, and then when it hits that guide wire, it knows how far to go over it. So sometimes it'll go, 2 or 3 inches over the edge of that. Maybe you just want it to go to the wire and stop so it doesn't go into a rose bed or flower bed or anything like that. And it also has bump sensors. So if it hits something, it stops, turns, and then redirects itself.
So I'm incredibly dumb when it comes to this type of thing here. I've never heard of this. What's the maintenance? And I mean, obviously, is it run on gas?
Okay, so it's electric. It charges. It goes back to a charging station, so you never have to touch it.
So it's eco-friendly too.
Easily eco-friendly, where you can, if if you have solar panels, you don't even pay for it. It would be like charging your cell phone overnight, kind of a thing. But the other maintenance aspect of it is, unlike even compared to a lawn, what it has 3 little razor blades in there for the spinning cutting disc, which are 100% protected, which you cannot cut yourself on. And you change these razor blades about every 6 months, and then for a 50-pack, they cost $10.
I was going to say, it has to be really inexpensive to replace the blades.
Exactly. And then unlike a normal mower, which you're having to sharpen, you risk losing a finger in the process of sharpening or take it off and take to a shop, this is something that you can do with a screwdriver at your house.
So something that came up for me when I first looked at it is talking about all these things. I saw it at Mission Hills Nursery. You can go there and see it. First, I want to get people's minds around it. It's the size to me of like one of those little toys a kid would sit on and push and kind of, you know what I mean? Like a little kid ride-on toy.
Yeah.
But talking about kids and pets, one of my first questions was safety. If a little kid is out there playing in the yard, or I have a small dog out there playing in the yard, what's going to happen if they run into this Husqvarna mower?
Of course. So great question. Number one is, like I said, it has bump sensors. So whenever it hits something, it stops, redirects itself. If it keeps hitting something, it'll just turn off because it knows it's in an area where it's not supposed to be. Also, the cutting disc that it has is in the middle of the mower, and it takes about a 4-inch gap on each side. So basically, you would have to reach under it and stick your hand in it to cut anything if that was the case. And then even then, it's razor blades that only stick out a 1/4 of an inch. So there's not a lot of cutting surface, but if you were to get a cut, it would be like a small paper cut. But you would really have to try to make that happen.
I imagine the body of it, it protects the blades.
Exactly.
They're not even, you can't even see the blades, right?
You can't even see the blades. You don't even know anything spinning, anything else. And then when somebody picks it up, it stops spinning completely.
So you'd have to literally be hell-bent on hurting yourself with this to get hurt. And a pet couldn't do it. A child you would have a much easier time getting hurt with a traditional lawnmower 1,000,000 times than you would get hurting.
And are the batteries easily replaceable? They're rechargeable batteries?
So it recharges itself. So the battery is easily replaceable by taking it into a automower dealer and they'll replace it. But the battery life, I think they're guaranteed for about 5 years. So even so, you wouldn't have to replace this battery for at least 5 years.
Do the math on this. I mean, if you figure it out per month, it's got to be more. It's got to be cheaper than maintenance or having your own
by a long shot.
By a gas lawnmower.
There's so many benefits aside from the cost alone. I mean, the way that it cuts, the mulching aspect we talked about, where it puts nutrients and keeps water in the ground. It keeps weeds down because if you don't when you mow your lawn once a week, a weed can grow, flower, and then produce seeds. This is continuously mowing, so it never produces weed seeds in the lawn. Also, lawns respond well to random mowing patterns, and so they don't like the lines that you put in a lawn. They respond better to random mowing patterns.
So then, do you put this on a timer and just every day it just automatically goes off, and you just basically set it and forget it?
Mine runs from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. every other day, and I never see it running.
And your lawn always looks perfect.
Always looks good.
That is awesome.
And to me, this is a marriage saver. I mean, this is something where, I think a lot of us, and I'm not trying to be sexist with this, but a lot of times, at least I've been in this situation where it's my responsibility to do the outside to the lawn, and I don't like to do it, and it goes a little bit by, and the neighbor's lawn is looking better than ours, and whoever's responsibility it is, the husband or the wife or the guys or the girls or whoever, this is something that makes your life easier, and you never have to worry about it again.
So when you're watching the football game and your wife comes up to you and gives you a hard time, you can say, "Honey, I'm mowing the lawn."
Mowing the lawn. Can you get me another beer?
How does it do on a slightly sloped lawn though? Because not everybody's yard's perfect. You got ditches and everything else in there. So how does it do on a sloped side?
It does better than the average lawnmower. So because of its small, lightweight design, it actually handles those areas better than you would. And it's, again, a back-saving thing where you don't have to push or your laborer doesn't have to push up a hill or down a hill. And sometimes what it does is scalp a lawn when it goes over a bend. This would not happen from the automower.
If you're interested in this product, and you should be, if you have a lawn of any size, of any kind, there's different sizes of these available, different ones for different applications. There's all kinds of questions that I still have, that we're going to bring you back in to cover them. But the best thing to do is go into Mission Hills Nursery. What's the location of Mission Hills?
1525 Fort Stockton Drive. It's right there in the heart of Mission Hills.
It's a great place. If you've never been there, you should go there anyway just to see it. Or you can call Mission Hills Nursery and say you want to come in and take a look at the Husqvarna mower, 619-500-9474. That's 619-500-9474. Go in and take a look at it. And, Tiger, you'll consult with people, give them all the ins and the outs and everything about it?
Oh, yeah. We can install it for you, but it's actually very easy to install. So a lot of people can do it at their own home.
This is something that the future is here. We're living in the Jetsons age, and this is one of those affordable ways to go there. So I highly recommend, if you have a lawn, check this out, because everybody's going to have one, and you need one. Thank you, Tiger, for coming in and sharing this with us. You are listening to Approved Home Pros here on News Radio 600 Kogo, and you're listening to the Approved Home Pro Show. And let's switch over. We're talking now with a good friend, been with the network forever, Mark Richardson, A-1 Rain Gutters. Mark, how are you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning. I'm in the gutter, so it's good to have some friends.
Life in the gutter.
As long as your mind is not in the gutter.
There you go.
So we're talking about rain gutters, and people may say, why are you talking about rain gutters? It hasn't rained in forever, and it's been hot, but that won't last forever. And rain gutters are an absolute necessity. There's a variety of reasons for them. But, Mark, run down for me the top few reasons, just briefly, why somebody needs a rain gutter.
Well, the main benefit is to protect your home and the assets in your home, your fascia board, your stucco, your plants, and to keep water. The main thing is to keep water away from your foundation, not let it soak in. Back east, if people have cellars, then they have to have rain gutters, or they're going to have swimming pools inside. So it's the same thing out here. Even though we're mainly work on slabs, water seeps in underneath that slab, and eventually over years will cause the problems, cracks and so forth. It'll affect that. And then also, as my friend Tiger reminded me, and that if water gets trapped in these planters, too much water for a plant, it'll kill the plant, or at least reduce its effectiveness.
Hey, and then one of the things that you just mentioned is the stucco is, people don't realize when you see that splatter mark, everybody that doesn't have a gutter, their wall has a splatter mark on that stucco. It doesn't wash off.
No, it
stays
doesn't.
there.
And that's on walls or gable ends. Anywhere the water runs off a roof, it'll stain the stucco if you don't have rain gutters.
That's exactly right. And that's what we do is reduce the effect of water dropping around the house and protect the assets on the house, the fascia board, the stucco, planters, and so forth like that. So that it's a direct water away from critical areas.
We actually time when we do a remodel or an addition to make sure that the rain gutters are installed right when the color coat's done, because if we get a quick rain, then the stucco gets stained immediately and we end up redoing it.
Yeah, with rain gutters, I think there's a few key things we're talking about here. One of them, though, that I want to get to is the benefits of rain. Rain can be a great thing, or it can be a damaging thing. Water is necessary for life, but it can be one of the most destructive things that are out there. But I want to tie back after the break into Mission Hills a little bit, because there's also the possibility of taking that rainwater, using the gutters to funnel it to a specific area, and being able to use that water for your landscape, which is a great, great thing that I think people don't realize. So that's something I want to cover after the break. But before we get there, Mark, what's the number somebody would call you to have you come out and do an evaluation, see what gutters are going to be for their home?
Yeah, 619-633-7784.
And you can always find Mark Richardson and all the great Approved Home Pros at ApprovedHomePros.com. Just search under rain gutters in the drop-down menu. So when we come back, we're going to cover how to use gutters as a part of your landscaping and be able to save that water. All coming up on Approved Home Pros.
Getting stuck in traffic is no fun.
You have lost.
Welcome back to Approved Home Pros. And one of the pros that is one of my favorite companies that we have been with us for years is System Pavers. They do so many great things. They start with pavers, of course. That was their foundation. That's where they began with. And they can still do wonderful work for you with any paver application. But they also do complete transformations of backyards and front yards, hardscapes, anything you need to turn your outdoor living area into a living space. They've been in business since 1992. I've met the owner, Larry Green. He's a great guy. We vetted them. They become a kind of stalwart member of our network. And they can do anything from the pavers all the way up through fire features, water features, barbecue areas, anything you need.
Even turf, right?
Turf, pergolas, landscape lighting, so much more. And they have an exclusive offer they created just for us, just for Approved Home Pros listeners. You can get 20% off. Let me say that again, 20% off on your entire outdoor living project. All you have to do is mention Approved Home Pros. Call them at 619-312-6760. That's 619-312-6760. You have to mention Approved Home Pros when you call in. It's for new projects only, and installation must commence within 90 days of the sale. And it can't be combined with other offers. Contractor license number 661575, and see Approved Home Pros for all the details. But great offer from System Pavers. So before the break, we were talking about rain gutters and some of the benefits and some of the reasons why you need them. There's two main things I want to continue with. One is the way to use that water, which can be damaging if not controlled, and we touched on that before the break, but how it can be used to benefit your home and your lawn. And I think Tiger will have a lot to kind of talk about with that. And the last part is the visual curb appeal aspect. Greg, you said some people don't want gutters because they think it's not going to look good with their home, but that's not the case with some of these beautiful gutters.
Because the colors are unlimited, pretty much. There's even, I know, Mark, I've seen those ones that are simulated copper or steel, and they look beautiful.
That's right. We have over 40 different baked-on enamel colors, and we have one called rustic copper that is beautiful. I put that on my house, and it looks like copper that is just, slightly bronzed.
And people pay probably 5 or 10 times that amount for real copper.
For real copper.
And this is just a really good solution.
It certainly is. And then we have different styles also for the gutters. We have a straight face for more modern appearance, and then the traditional European half round, and of course the OG style, which is the most common gutter.
So people, I think, have in their mind rain gutters that they maybe grew up with and just kind of not decorative items. They were functional items. But today, they are absolutely like bling for your curb appeal for the outside of your home. They can be a major piece of the curb appeal and the visual aspect, the visual aesthetic.
Yeah, and that's true. And the main idea is to control the water and get it to a point where it's not going to cause any problems for your house. But also, as you stated, it can be turned into a positive situation where we can collect some of that rainwater, so it can be used for other things.
How does that work? Okay, so you're taking the rain off the roof, it runs through a downspout, and then you direct it to a cistern of some kind?
Yeah, it can be connected to rain barrels. That's the most common thing, but that only holds about 50, 60 gallons of water. And the downspout can be connected to that. It'll fill up and then run back to the downspout when it fills up. But that's a very limited amount. You can get rain tanks, and you can get cisterns, create cisterns for the water to go into, and then it can even be put in your irrigation system, so it can be pumped through there also. So there's all kinds of things.
So you can be using your sprinkler system for your irrigation?
You can.
Yeah, and there's a lot of benefits to rainwater over city water. I mean, number one, you're not paying for it, so that's nice.
Yeah, that's a nice benefit.
Number two, though, is that our city water contains salt, chlorine, hard minerals, all kinds of stuff in it that are not good for plants. But rainwater is pure water, and it's full of nitrates and other things that are wonderful for plants and actually washes plants really well. And the biggest test that I tell people to do is take your hose, spray a window, let it dry. You get all kinds of water spots all over it. Take a gallon of rainwater, throw it on a window, it sheets down perfectly clean. And plants respond really well to that. So if you can store it and use it to water your plants later, you're saving money, but you're actually doing a lot better for the plants as well.
It's literally falling from the sky, stuff to benefit your home, benefit you, benefit your landscape, and people let that go to waste, or without the gutters, they're letting it do damage when it could be such a blessing to their home. So it's crazy for people not to do that. I'm sure there's a little added cost to create that on the front end, but is it a dramatic cost to be able to create the ability to save the rainwater?
No, like I said, with the rain barrels, it's fairly cheap, and there's rebates for these. You can buy up to 3 rain barrels and get all your money back, just about. But if you want to go a little larger with people who really do a lot of growing with flowers or vegetables, then rain tanks range anywhere from about 250 gallons all the way up to 5,000 gallons. I've sold some systems, 2 or 3 5,000 gallon systems, and they're all they can be gravity fed down into groves. Depending on your elevations, or they can be attached to your irrigation system and with a pump. Then,
well, I bet you people don't realize how much water actually comes off a roof when it rains. I mean, a 55-gallon drum, that'll fill up, in minutes.
Yeah. You get, in an inch of rain on 1,000 square foot of roof, in 1 hour you get 600 gallons.
Wow.
So rain barrels mean nothing really for that. It'll fill them up in an instant.
And San Diego gets an average of 10 inches of rain a year, and it's nice because we actually space out that 10 inches. So you're going to fill it up, use it before the next time it rains, probably.
Tiger, have you seen people put in these, either their barrels or the cisterns, and be able to use those to create much better outdoor spaces?
Oh, definitely. I mean, one of the biggest things that deter people from putting in a yard with plants is watering them. Well, if they can have a storage tank, save the water, and use it for those plants, not only the plants look better, but it encourages people to plant more.
To me, this is a no-brainer, Greg, and I'm sure your advice to the listeners would be the same. If you don't have rain gutters, you're risking damage to your home, clearly, correct?
Absolutely. Right now is the time to do it. I mean, we're probably 2 months away from some rain, and why not get on the schedule now? I'm sure in this economy, Mark's probably backlogged right now, so I'd make the call and get in the queue.
And Mark, I'll tell you this, Mark's always busy, as the great guys are, but he can work you in. Now's the time to do it. In the middle of the rainy season, he gets busier. There are other companies that do it, but I've never met anybody that is even close to the respect that Mark has among the builders community and the roofers and everybody else. So I highly recommend Mark. And also because you get the secondary benefits of using that rainwater. Mark, you'll come out to somebody's home, do a free evaluation, let them know what they need, guide them to the right opportunity for them, right design. What's the number somebody would call to reach you?
619-633-7784.
One more time.
619-633-7784.
And you can always find Mark and all of our pros at ApprovedHomePros.com. Just search under rain gutters, and he'll come out to your home and give that evaluation. And again, been with us forever, one of the most trusted pros, I think, in San Diego, and one of the oldest contractors licenses I've ever seen in San Diego, which is a really statement that you guys have been around solid.
But not the oldest contractor.
No,
Still a young guy, right?
I'm not calling him old. That's not what I'm saying here.
Contractor number 2.
I'm older than all you guys.
Yeah, he has contractor number 2. Methuselah was contractor number 3. And just kidding. Love you, man. So you're listening to Approved Home Pros here on News Radio 600 Kogo, and we're switching up now to go over to Bob Briley, Mr. Briley from We Care Plumbing, Heating, and Air. I don't have the Mr. Crowley theme song. We should have had it queued up, but I'd love to play it for
I can do it like my commercials, Hey, Bob Riley here. We Care Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
Well, you always crack me up, man. We're here talking about the great debate. It is the ongoing debate, tank water heaters versus tankless water heaters. We're going to cover most of this after the break, but let's start the debate. Let's kind of everybody get on their sides, pick your team. What are the major differences between a tank system and a tankless system?
Well, a tankless system is it heats up the water when you turn it on. I mean, the water's sitting there with your pipes. As soon as you turn your hot water heater on, or turn your hot water on, the water flows through your tankless and it heats up the water. Now, it's not insta-hot. It's not instantaneously hot. It's going to take the same amount of time it gets from point A to point B that your tank did. The other thing is, on a tank itself, is you're constantly heating that tank up. And as that tank is getting heated up, you're spending more money.
So with a tank system, you have a volume of water that's sitting there being like a pot being boiled constantly.
Correct. And as time goes on, the efficiency level starts to drop in that tank because sediment starts to fall, and now it starts losing efficiency also.
And with a tankless, there is no reserve of water. It's just pulling it straight out of the water supply, running it through kind of a set of tubes back and forth.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's endless water, endless hot water.
So people think it's instant hot water. It's not, but there are advantages to it. When we come back after the break, we're going to get into what are those advantages and disadvantages and help you understand what might be right for your home with We Care Plumbing, Heating, and Air, all on Approved Home Pros. that ominous music is the intro to Mr. Crowley. Because we have with us, I always joke with him about it, Mr. Briley, Mr. Bob Briley from We Care Plumbing, Heating, and Air. We got to get that kind of the beginning of it tightened up so we can get into the Ozzy.
We want the vocals.
We want the vocal part. Yeah, I forgot there's a long intro to that. But Mr. Briley,
yes, sir.
We're talking about the great debate between tank water heaters and tankless water heaters. Everybody has a side. And before the break, we just explained the differences between the two and how they function. We're not going to cover that more in detail, but what are the advantages to each? Let's start with a tankless system. What are the key reasons somebody on that side would say they're the best? What's the advantage?
Well, the key reason for tankless is, one, the efficiency level. It's a higher efficiency because you have less waste product going out your vents. You're paying for $1 worth of hot water. You can get up to 98 cents.
Because you're only heating it when you need it.
Right, exactly. It's not sitting there stewing. Space saver. I mean, if you take out a tank, a 40, 50, 75-gallon tank, now all of a sudden you have a big space that you can put your tankless or move your tankless outside, and now you have a giant space available inside your house or inside your garage. And maintenance-wise, they're easier to maintain. They have to be maintained more, but they're easier to maintain.
Okay. And I want to get to that maintenance in a little bit. With the the tanked system is less efficient, but are there more efficient options today than there used to be?
Yes, there is higher efficiency. We call them brain fade real quick, but
high efficiency units.
Yeah, but high efficiency units,
like the A.O. Smith units.
Yes,
right?
they have a high efficiency 90-something% tank system,
and they're pretty pricey. But
yes, they are. And what they use is they use a vent system instead of it gravity feed for your venting to go out. It actually uses a blower in there, so it pulls the heat through the whole tank and heats the water better, and it have more efficiency. A hybrid is the word I was thinking of.
Hybrid. Okay, I have a question. Okay, so we have 4 really knowledgeable home improvement pros in the room, and me, and I'm not. But I want to go around the room and ask. We'll see where people fall. Come down to this. Greg, your home. What do you have? Tank system. Tiger.
I have a tank now.
I have a tankless.
Mark has a tankless.
I have a tank. My tank is 10 years old. It's due. I'm going to be changing it to a tankless.
You're going to go tankless.
I am going tankless.
And then one of my issues, and this is a good selling point, I think, for the tankless, as we talked about earlier, is that my tank is in my home, and I worry that they do break.
Right.
And how many gallons are in them?
40, it depends what you have. 40
gallons.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a valid worry.
For sure.
And
if it breaks and that water goes in my house, my whole house
is flooded.
Yeah. So I'm looking to replace it with a tankless, because if that breaks,
that's a disaster.
It just shuts off.
Right.
It doesn't flood.
I mean, with a lot of tanks, people see the Smitty pans underneath it, and they're like, okay, well, if my tank starts to leak, the Smitty pan, which is a catch pan underneath it, is going to drain out. When you have catastrophic failure on a tank system, we're talking, like I said, 40, 50-gallon flush. It's just going boom. And next thing you know, you have 3, 4, 5 inches of water in it. Yep. Depends how the containment area is.
It happened to me. Fortunately, the tank was in the garage and raised, so it just went right out to the garage. But if it had been inside, you got problems.
It was catastrophic. All of it came out at one time.
Oh, yeah. The whole tank. When it ruptures, it goes off.
And you've seen videos, I mean, it's of a tank actually exploding. Mm-hmm. I mean, the pressure valve not going off, and that thing takes off. I mean, you hear stories about those things have actually gone through rooms. I mean, gone through a wall, because it just has all that containment, all that pressure build up. Something's going to happen. If that pressure valve fails, boom, off it goes.
So tankless is the future. And in our remodels and new builds, we have to use tankless.
Right.
The points,
why do you have to?
Because the energy code requires tankless now.
Title 24
or
does.
high
You have to use high efficiency. And the only way to get the highest efficiency water system would be to go tankless.
But my words of wisdom are, it's critical with the tankless that you have a competent, trained person or company install them for a few reasons. One, the gas line, because a tank type usually is a 1/2-inch line versus a 3/4 line, right, Bob?
Yeah, I mean, we've run 1 1/4 up to some of these tankless systems, so you have to really rethink about what you're going to do with your gas.
Right, venting is super critical.
Yes,
and the long-term maintenance of making sure that you flush that system out regularly so you get the most life out of the unit.
Yeah, because we have the hardest water. We have calcium water. I mean, so it's going to clog up whatever you have. I mean, look at your sinks, your filters for your sinks. How often do you clean out your filters for your sinks? I mean, they have those screw-on little screens that'll always get clogged up, and people don't realize it. And they're like, hey, I got no water.
Right.
And next thing you know, you just unscrew that screen, and it comes out because it's been filled up.
Does hard water, though, affect tank and tankless?
Yes, it does. It affects everything.
You know, it's funny. Yesterday, I was interviewing Hague Quality Water Systems, one of our pros, and they talked about how the hard water in San Diego does a number on appliances and a variety of things, and how great filtration is to be able to eliminate some of those things.
And you're supposed to drain your tank-type water heater from time to time and refill it because it builds up with
the sediment builds up on the bottom, and the next thing you know, that starts to rust out, and there goes your failures on the bottom of the tank.
Nobody does that, though, do they?
To be honest with you, no, really. I mean, look, take another survey around this table. How often did you guys hook up a hose or drain your tank?
And it's so easy.
Everybody's saying no.
Just yesterday. No.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's saying no because a lot of people don't know how to do it, for one, and then a lot of people are afraid of when you unscrew that little drain that's at the bottom of your water heater, people are afraid to tighten it back up and see if it's going to leak.
How many people don't even know that
there's
the
a drain
hose screws onto that little valve?
It's one of the things you always list in your maintenance that people should be doing every year. So, but where I think we come down, or at least where I'm coming down on this, is that there's times for tank, there's times for tankless, but the direction seems to be tankless is more the future.
Yeah, but tankless isn't for everybody. There's going to be some applications where a tankless just doesn't work. I mean, if you have all electric house and they have all electric tankless, that heating element in that tankless to heat up your your tankless at a 200,000 BTUs is what you basically need, is going to be highly a cost. I mean, you're actually better off running a propane line and a propane tank just for that tankless, and it's actually cheaper.
So all electric is not the perfect application.
It's not I mean, it works if you have especially if you have solar, it works, but it's just not the perfect application.
But you guys at WeCare will come in, you'll talk to somebody, you'll find out what their situation is with their home, you'll guide them, give them the options, and let them make the choices best for them, but you'll educate them about these things.
Yeah, they're going to educate us because we're going to ask some questions where, what kind of lifestyle are you expecting out of your water heater? I mean, what's your end goal? And then with that, we'll sit down and evaluate something of this will work best for you, this won't work best for you.
And that's one of the things that I love about WeCare and all of our pros. You're not going to get sold something. Their agenda is not to sell a tankless water heater. It's to go in there and find out what will work best for you. You can also get $200 off a tank water heater and $400 off a tankless water heater. This offer ends quickly. It ends on the 5th, September 5th. So very quickly, right around the corner. But call today, call right away, and get them out to do the evaluation. What's the number somebody will call, Bob?
It's 619-333-8646.
Again, 619-333-8646, or you can find them on ApprovedHomePros.com. Just find them under plumbing, air conditioning, any of the great categories that you guys are under. One of our great pros, and take advantage of that offer. Just make sure you tell them you're part of Approved Home Pros, and also all these pros are guaranteed to have a great experience with them, or we step in to help make it right. Greg, we're basically out of time for Cantor's Corner with Murray Lampert Design, Build, Remodel, but you had one quick thing, one piece of advice for people if they haven't done it yet.
Maybe a couple, but change your air filter, clean out your rain gutters, and how about trying to flush out your water heater? 3
great pieces of advice. If you have any questions about that, you can go ahead and call Greg at Murray Lampert Design, Build, Remodel, 619-500-9485. You've been listening to Approved Home Pros. We are your screened and vetted source for great home improvement contractors, the very best in San Diego. Experts have screened and vetted them, expert tips and advice, and the experts like the folks you've listened to today. Log on to ApprovedHomePros.com for more. And don't forget to get a hold of Mission Hills for the Husqvarna mower, A-1 rain gutters, and WeCare Plumbing, Heating, and Air. That's us. Thanks so much.
Fraser Decks and Patio Covers is San Diego's premier